All right, let's talk about something personal again for a second. Again, we've all been there, the rock bottom, starting up at the mountain, wondering how the hell we're ever going to climb up it again. Maybe it was a business idea that flopped. Maybe it was a relationship that ended up in flames. Or maybe it was just that sinking feeling that you're not living up to your potential. Does that sound familiar? I've been there. Hell, if you're human, you've definitely been there. And here's the kicker. Coming back from rock bottom isn't about some grand plan or Herculean effort. It's about small, deliberate steps that lead to something much, much bigger. No, let's break it down, but not in some boring lecture-y kind of way. This is just you and me talking about life, ambition, and how to stop from spinning your wheels. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's a damn good starting point, though. You know what's fascinating about hitting rock bottom? It's not the end. In fact, it's a clean slate, a raw, unfiltered opportunity to start over. And that's where Blakebill came from, honestly. You know what? I was fed up with this slow, clunky process of transferring files to clients and then waiting forever to get paid. You ever try sending a huge batch of final deliverables only to chase your client for payments? It's maddening. And I figured, why not solve this with a problem? And in doing so, I discovered something much more powerful about starting from scratch. It's messy, uncomfortable, and let's be real, scary. It's also the most honest place you can be. When you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So if you're sitting there wondering how you're going to rebuild your life, let me tell you this, you're not alone and you're not stuck. So let's look at this. Step 1, accept where you are without the baggage. Let's get real. Accepting where you are is hard. And it's not about pretending everything is fine or ignoring your struggles. It's about facing your reality head on and saying, this is where I'm starting. It's not ideal, but it's mine. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're settling. It means you're ready to take the next step forward. So when I started Blakebill, it wasn't perfect. There was bugs, there was glitches, and plenty of moments of doubt. I could have gotten stuck in what wasn't working or wasting time wishing I had started earlier. But none of that would have helped. Instead, I accepted where I was with all the messiness and used that as the foundation to grow. And the shift in mindset was liberating. Part of this process is dropping the baggage, the guilt over the past mistakes or resentment towards others. Let it go. Those things only weigh you down. Instead of fixating on what went wrong, ask yourself, what can you learn from it? Every mistake I made with Blakebill taught me something valuable about what needed to change. Those lessons helped me improve step by step. Another part of acceptance is focusing on what's working, even if it's small. For me, the core idea behind Blakebill was helping freelancers send files and get paid instantly. So that was my anchor. That belief kept me grounded during the tough times, and finally, it can be the same for you. Remember that your current situation is temporary. Life moves in seasons, and struggles you're facing won't last forever. I reminded myself of this constantly in the early days of Blakebill. This is temporary. That perspective kept me motivated to push forward, even when things felt uncertain. Acceptance isn't about being happy with where you are. It's about being honest with yourself and using that as a launch pad for growth. The sooner you embrace it, the sooner you can start moving forward. Step 2, start small, but start now. Making a comeback doesn't require a grand gesture. It begins with one small, deliberate step forward. You don't need to flip your life upside down overnight. You just need to create momentum. The beauty of starting small is that it removes the pressure to be perfect and replaces it with action. When doing, again, Blakebill, I didn't have all the answers. The first version was just really rough. My initial steps weren't monumental. I focused on the basics, testing the platform with a small group of freelancers and fixing issues as they appeared. The first transaction wasn't huge, but it was proof that the idea worked. That tiny win gave me the confidence to keep going. Each small step built on the one before it. And if you're feeling stuck, stop focusing on the mountain ahead and look at the first step in front of you. What can you do today, right now, that moves you closer to your goal? It doesn't have to be groundbreaking, it just has to get you moving. Maybe it's reaching out to a client, writing a quick plan, or taking 5 minutes to brainstorm. Starting small also helps reduce fear. When the stakes are low, it's easier to take risks. Earlier on, I didn't worry about reaching thousands of users. I focused on a handful of freelancers who could benefit from the platform. That focus helped me learn, adjust, and grow without feeling overwhelmed. The key is to act now and not wait for the perfect moment. There's no ideal time to start, just the present. Progress isn't about having the perfect plan, it's about taking the first steps even if it's messy. What's one small action that can take today? Write it down, then do it. That's how you're going to build momentum, and that's one step at a time. Step 3, build systems, not just goals. Goals are great for setting direction, but they won't get you without systems. Systems are the daily routines and habits that keep you moving forward, even when motivation fades. They focus on the process, not just the outcome, and make progress inevitable. Again, Starting Blakebill, my goal was to create the platform where the freelancers could just send the files and be paid immediately. But the real progress came from the systems I built. Daily routines for coding, testing, and improving the platform. Each small, consistent step moved the idea closer to reality. Think about fitness. The goal might be to lose 20 pounds, but the system, regular workouts, meal prep, tracking progress is what makes it happen. System breaks big goals into manageable steps and ensure consistency. Instead of focusing on the end result, focus on what needs to happen today, and over time, those small actions compound into success. To build a system, identify the steps your goals require to create a routine around them. For Blakebill, I tracked user interactions and adjusted the platform based on feedback. The same principles apply to any goal. Measure your progress and adapt to the systems as needed. Goals point the way, but systems pave the path. Build systems that work for you, and they'll take you where you want to go. Step 4, surround yourself with the right people. The people around you shape your mindset, habits, and energy. If you're serious about growth, you need to assess your circle and prioritize the relationships that inspire and challenge you. During Blakebill, some doubted the idea while others believed in it, and it pushed me to improve. The feedback from the right people, those who constructively challenged me, was invaluable. These are the individuals you need, not cheerleaders, but honest supporters who genuinely want you to succeed. Again, at the same time, limit exposure to toxic people who drain your energy or discourage your ambitions. You may not be able to avoid them entirely, but you can set boundaries to protect your focus and well-being. To find the right people, seek out communities that align with your goals. When launching Blakebill, I had connected with a whole bunch of freelancers who understood the platform, they understood the problem I was solving. Their insights kept me motivated on track. Look for mastermind groups, industry meetups, online forums where you can find others on similar paths. Mentors can also make a big difference. A mentor doesn't have to be far ahead of you. It could be a peer with strengths that you admire. Collaboration is equally valuable. Some of Blakebill's best ideas came from brainstorming ideas with others. And finally, the type of person who uplifts others and offers support. Relationships are a two-way street, and bringing value to others attract those who will do the same for you. Ask yourself if your current circle is helping or holding you back. Surround yourself with people who energize and inspire you, and you'll gain momentum to reach your goals faster. The right people can transform your journey. Step 5, embrace failure as part of the process. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Every successful project or person you admire has faced setbacks. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They used it as a stepping stone. If you want to grow, you need to reframe failure as a tool for learning and progress, not just something to fear. When I was doing with Blakebill, again, the roadblocks that I hit were just constant bugs in the early versions, features that didn't land, and failed marketing campaigns all felt frustrating all at the same time. But each failure taught me something critical, what wasn't working and what needed to change. Without those lessons, Blakebill wouldn't have become the streamlined platform it is today. Failure is feedback. It's life saying, try a different approach. The first step to embracing failure is seeing it's a part of the process, not just a reflection on your worth. Just because something didn't work doesn't mean you're a failure. It's a moment, not a definition. Think of failure as a sculptor chipping away at marble. Each mistake removes what doesn't belong, bringing you closer to the masterpiece. For me, each failed step with Blakebill revealed opportunities for improvement. Failure also brings resilience. Every time you bounce back, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Over time, setbacks feel less daunting and more minor bumps in the road. Embrace failure, reflect on it. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I learn? What do I need to do differently next time? This turns failure into a learning opportunity. Let's see. For instance, when Blakebill's marketing campaigns didn't perform, I realized the messaging wasn't clear. That insight helped me refine it for better results. If you're failing, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. Playing it safe might protect you from failure, but it also keeps you from growth. Every great achievement involves stepping into the unknown, where failure is a natural part of risk-taking. You gotta remember that failure is temporary, but the lessons you learn are permanent. Each failure moves you closer to success as long as you're willing to adjust and keep going. It's proof that you're trying to learn, trying to get closer to where you want to be. Step 6, celebrate the journey, not just the destination. It's easy to fixate on the destination, imagining that success, happiness, or fulfillment will only come after you've reached a specific goal. But the truth is, the journey is where life happens. The lessons, the growth, the memories are all made along the way. And if you don't stop to celebrate these moments, you're missing out on the most meaningful parts of the process. Celebrating the journey doesn't mean you stop being ambitious. It's about about recognizing the process itself in an achievement. Every small win, every small obstacle you overcome, and every step forward deserves acknowledgement because they're building blocks to your success. When you focus solely on the end goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged, especially when the progress feels slow. Celebrating the little wins creates positive reinforcement and reminds you that you're moving in the right direction. Each small success, whether it's completing a task, learning something new, or simply showing up consistently, is a reason to feel proud and keep going. You know, celebrations don't have to be extravagant. It can be simply reflecting on your progress, rewarding yourself with something small, or sharing your achievements with someone who supports you. You know, these moments of acknowledgement not only help provide motivation, but also help you stay present and grounded in the process. The mindset shift also changes on how you view challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you can start seeing them as part of the adventure. The late nights, the tough decisions, the unexpected setbacks, they all become stories of growth and resilience that you're going to look back on. Personal growth is another reason to celebrate this journey. Every challenge forces you to adapt, learn, and evolve. Recognizing how you've grown, whether it's developing a new skill, gaining confidence, or discovering a strength you didn't know you had, adds depth to your meaning and your efforts. Again, life isn't about reaching a destination, it's about experience and getting there. Take the time to reflect on your progress, no matter how small it seems. Celebrate every step forward, and you'll find joy and fulfillment in the process itself. The journey is where the magic happens, and it's worth celebrating every step of the way. Comeback story starts today. Okay, let's face it, life can knock you down. Maybe it's a failed project, a broken relationship, or just something overwhelming feeling that you're not living up to your full potential. Again, here's the thing. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, today is the day you can begin your comeback. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Comebacks don't start with some magical opportunity falling into your lap or a grand sweeping change. They start with a decision, a quiet but powerful moment where you get to tell yourself, I'm not staying stuck. I'm gonna do something about this. That's all it takes, one decision to get that ball rolling. Your comeback's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. It's going to be messy, unpredictable, and sometimes frustrating. But perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Every step you take from this moment is part of the comeback. First action might be simple as writing down a plan, sending an email, making a phone call, or just committing to a new mindset. No action is too small when it comes to building momentum. What makes a comeback powerful isn't just reaching a destination, it's transforming that happens along the way. Each challenge you face will strengthen you. Each failure will teach you something valuable. Each victory, no matter how small, will remind you that you're capable of more. It's not just about achieving a goal, it's about becoming the person who achieves it. You know, maybe you've been waiting for the right time to start, but let me tell you, there's no such thing. Only time you have is now, and that's enough. You don't need all the answers or a perfect plan. All you need is the willingness to take one step forward. The next step will reveal itself when the time comes. So you gotta remember, every great comeback story starts with a moment like this, a moment where someone chooses to rise after falling. Think about the stories you admire. What makes them powerful isn't that they avoided hardship, but what they did to overcome it. That's what makes a comeback worth telling. Again, today is your chance to start writing your story. It doesn't matter how many times you failed or how far behind you feel. What matters is what you do next. The road ahead's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. You know, each step forward, you'll prove to yourself that you're stronger, you're smarter, and you're more resilient than you thought. So let's take this first step, no matter how small. Commit to showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. You know, believing that your best days aren't behind you, they're just ahead. Because the greatest comeback story of your life really doesn't start tomorrow or some way down the line. It starts right now with the decisions you make today. Your story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started.